everyone, and welcome yourselves back to the YouTube channel. Today we're here to talk about House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones prequel set 172 years before the birth of Daenerys and the death of the Mad King. And it's been a great introduction for these characters and the world to try to build, in a sense. Well, the building on the past, and they're trying to build towards what we know. So been really good so far. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and be sure to check out all my other videos coming in the future, and obviously the ones that are already on the channel that you may have not already checked out, because I review a variety of TV shows, movies, and much more. Spoilers ahead, and enjoy. So, props to some of the great acting. I want to talk about the acting first. Millie Alcock as Renee Targaryen, brilliant. Matt Smith didn't really appear as Damien much this week, but he was great in the scenes he was in. There's the typical bitch of the show. You had Cersei in Game of Thrones, and now you've got Eve Best, who plays Princess Rhaegal, basically the cousin of Viserys, the king, who lost out to becoming the heir to the throne. Paddy Considine is continuously wowing me with how well he is playing the king in this. He is absolutely gone above and beyond anything I could ever anticipated that he would do, and the way he would play, a Game of Thrones character. Like I said, I think I only know him for like Hot Fuzz or World's End, whatever it is, and he has just been fantastic. But the person who has stood out the most to me is Rhys Ifans. And the reason why I say that is because he is playing Otto, the Hand of the King, and now he is going to be joining forces with the Targaryens. After it was a whirlwind of an episode of finding someone who Viserys should and must marry for the future of the kingdom, for the future of Westeros, and to proclaim and solidify himself in Westeros, basically, with stronger forces. But what I enjoyed about what was something we never really knew where it was going to go. Corlys Velaryon, who I think is connected to the Valyrian steel. I don't 100% know. He was basically putting his daughter forward, but we knew as audience probably that Alicent Hightower was the obvious choice because they spent so much time together. But can I just point out, there's probably hundreds, thousands of women in Westeros, in King's Landing. Why is it a 12-year-old Valerian's daughter, who I genuinely think is a kid actress, or Emily Carey, who plays Lady Alicent Hightower, a 15-year-old girl, the only two options for Viserys to wed? Can someone explain that to me? Because I don't know. It's different times. I get there's different reasons, and there's always going to be. No matter if you can make it possible, you will make the marriage possible. That's just how it is. But when the series was walking with Valerian's daughter, the young girl, the 12-year-old, and she said something along the lines of, "I am excited for this," or something like and she was like, "But I can't bed you until I'm 14." I was thinking, this is disgusting. It was disturbing in the fact of these sort of things probably and did happen back in those days in the real world, because there wasn't laws on ages, with everything. And I'm so glad. I'm happier that Viserys has gone with Alicent Hightower, even though, again, it's so weird that this young girl is going to be having sex with this 40, 50-year-old fella to make babies who are going to be Rhaea's sisters, and Rhaea is best friends with Alicent Hightower. So this show has gone from crazy to crazy, full of incestuous stories, because if Viserys actually went through with the marriage of the Valerian daughter, he would have also been sort of an incestuous relationship because it's his cousin's daughter as well. It's just really weird. But I look at those storylines and think these are the storylines that maybe you think, oh, that's what's Game of Thrones. It's you think it's your weird relationships, it's your dragons. To see Rhaenyra on the dragon in this episode and confront Damien, that was brilliant, and basically overthrow Otto's motives. And to avoid the bloodshed, it was brilliant. There was an introduction as well. I was so similar to the one we are so familiar with in Game of Thrones, with the Game of Thrones music. There was the disgusting opening and closing scenes of the crabs on the beach. There was so much love about this episode. I touched upon the main thing about the marriage and the wed and the uncomfortable nature of their ages, but the acting's been phenomenal. The cast is brilliant. It truly feels like a Game of Thrones. We could have watched this and it could have felt so flat and so boring, but you have the bitchiness, you have the typical arguments, you have the council, you have the hand who is trying to be as powerful or if as important as the king. You have other people trying to demeanor him, to undermine him, and obviously by the end of the episode, the Valerian dude has now sort of aligned himself with Damien, who has somehow snuck back into King's Landing. The sets of Dragonstone was phenomenal. Just everything about this episode, and the connectivity and the time skip from the first episode, about 6 months. So there's probably going to be another time skip in each episode, I'm guessing. Hence why eventually Thingy will not be in the show. Millie Alcock and will be replaced by Emmy Darcy eventually, because I think in the next episode they may be married and maybe on the brink of maybe bringing a kid in, which may be the next episode, for example. So you can see the direction they're going, you can see what they're doing, you can see what they're building, and I couldn't be happier. And I'm so grateful it's 10 weeks. I'm grateful it's when I watched this, I was so grateful to think, I'm glad it's once a week, because you get enough information inside of you, enough time to go, oh my God, this was brilliant. And then you go into next week, you go, it's been a very good start to the series. Episode 1 and 2 have been comfortably good, showcasing the best of Game of Thrones. I will disregard this. People are saying it's a million times better than season 7 and season 8. It's so different. Because Game of Thrones season 1 and season 5 was so different, for example, because season 1 was so like raw like this. It was the pacing of the show. It's the raw cast, because no one's dead yet. Until until all those things change, until environments change, because we might not be in King's Landing for every season. We might not be in Dragonstone. We might be in different. They've mentioned different places. In Essos, so I do hope we travel. I hope we go to a variety of places. But we know episode 5 onwards, there's going to be bloodshed. Some of our main characters will die, and the likes of Otto, and I don't the king 100% will not survive the series. He will be the big death, I think, of the show. So truly happy with what we're seeing. The little bits of inclusions of the Lannisters or the Starks, joining forces and proclaiming their banners. It's always brilliant to have them in the show, but I have nothing wrong to say about House of Dragon. It has absolutely excelled what I thought it would be. And the big thing for me now is the biggest competition for this show comes out on Thursday with 2 episodes. Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. 2 shows which are so similar, but also very different. To have 2 shows that's so alike, and to go into next week, for example, it'll be both episode 3 of both shows. I'm so excited to see these 2 compete and see the fan base comparing them. We don't need to compare them, but people will, because they'll be like, Lord of the Rings is the greatest fantasy movie franchise and now TV franchise of all time. Game of Thrones is the greatest fantasy TV show of all time, and now they are going to go head to head. And they're both prequels, they're both big stories, and they have both big weights on their shoulders. House of the Dragon has excelled and succeeded, and I hope it continues to go up and up and up and just up the ante as we head into season 2 in the future as well. So big props to the cast of Millie, Matt, Paddy, and Reese. and Emily and Eve and everyone else involved. I can't wait for episode 3. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and let me know down below what your favorite bit of House of Dragon has been so far. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.